going to start it recording, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So, any questions before we get going about Foundry or kind of what our objective is today?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Well, let's just start with a really quick look at Foundry. As I already spoke with Clara, on the upper right of your screen is a taskbar, and there's some little chat bubbles. Most of the action, the dice rolls, will be listed there. So if you're not seeing what's happening, click on that chat bubble, and it will show you. The only other one that you'll probably want to use, if you need to find your character sheet, if there's no token on the screen, there's one that says Actors. It looks like a head and shoulders. If you click on that, you should be able to see your character sheet, and you can click on your character sheet and pull it up. Then there's one that looks like a musical note. If you click on that, you can adjust the background music. You should be hearing some music if your volume is up. If you want to turn that down or off, you should have your own individual controls there. Otherwise, I'll take care of everything else. So let's look at the character sheet and let's talk about how to play Dragonbane. Dragonbane is it's a D20 system, but it's not similar to other D20 systems where you try to roll high. This is a roll under system. So your goal whenever you are doing a skill check or a combat roll, you will roll and try to get under your score. So Clara already rolled once or twice, so Reese, I'm going to let you roll. If you've got your character sheet up, there's 3 ways you can roll. The easiest way is to just click on the name of the skill that you want to do, or click on the name of the attribute, like Strength, Constitution, up at the top. Yeah, and you just rolled a 7. And that was for Brawling. So your Brawling skill, you rolled under that, so it says it was a success. And so as long as you roll your score or lower, you will succeed. If you roll higher than your score, that's a failure. And then Clara already discovered what happens when you roll a 20. That's called a demon, and that's like a fumble. If you roll a 1, that's a dragon, and that's when good things happen. So your characters have hit points and willpower points. Hit points are like any role-playing game. That's your physical health, and as you take damage, you will click on the little bubbles there and fill those in, and it will reduce your score. Willpower points you use to do special abilities, and you each should have some abilities. I actually need to do just a little bit of bookkeeping on here, because if we're doing a solo game, you each would have 2 abilities called Army of One and Soul Survivor. So yeah. I'm actually going to
take those off.
I'm gonna take those off because we're not going to need those. Let's see if I can get that off of here. There's their off of Krisanna, and let me get those off of Bastonn. So basically what those do, the Army of One, if you're playing by yourself, it lets you draw 2 initiative cards, basically lets you go twice in each combat round. And Soul Survivor allows you kind of another opportunity if you fail a roll to try and succeed. So let's talk about that, because when you roll, you've either got a success or a failure. If you get a failure, that's not the end. You have the opportunity to push the roll, and pushing the roll is similar to like Call of Cthulhu and other games where you can try again, but sometimes there's a negative to that. The same is true of Dragonbane. If you want to push the roll, and it will give you the option in the chat bar, you'll have to take a condition. If you look at your character sheet, just below your abilities, you're going to have different conditions. So below Strength it says Exhausted, below Constitution is Sickly, and then Dazed, Angry, Scared, and Disheartened. And if you push your roll, you have to take one of those conditions, and you can pick which one. But for the role-playing flavor, you're going to tell me, I think that this roll makes me angry, and so I'm going to harness that anger to try and overcome this challenge. And then that stays with you until you're able to remove that through healing. And if you, whenever you have that condition, if you go to, let's say that you have angry, and then I ask you to make like an intelligence roll or a skill roll that involves intelligence, you'll have what's called a Bane. It's like disadvantage in Dungeons and Dragons. With a Bane, you'll roll 2 of the d20s and you'll take the highest score. If things are in your favor, you have a boon. You'll roll 2 d20s and take the lowest score. So it's just like advantage and disadvantage, it's just high instead of low. And once we get playing, it'll take 2 or 3 rolls, and then you'll be right with the system as far as high and low. Bastonn, I'm going to have you make an attack with your spear. We're going to talk about damage a little bit. So if you want to click on like your long spear, it will make a roll. And you can see your skill in spear is a 14, so you need a 14 or less. And, oh, well, okay, you've both gotten demons out of the way, so that's good. So that was a 20. That's really bad. So then I get to basically punish you by making a mishap. So in this case, you slam your weapon into something hard and damage it. Any use of the weapon gets a bane until it's repaired by an artisan. You really don't want that when you're in the dungeon. You may notice that you also cannot push that roll. You can't push a demon. If you get a demon, you're stuck with it. So let's try that again. Go ahead and give that one more roll here for me. There we go. So you got a 10. So that is below your skill of 14, so that's a success. Go ahead and hit that roll damage button. Now the damage for your long spear is I think you did.
Yeah, I rolled.
You
I
did
rolled the short spear because
so the short spear.
Down.
Oh, right. So the short spear does 1d10, and then it also did an additional 1d6. So if you look up kind of the middle right-hand side of your character sheet, there's a damage bonus for strength and a damage bonus for agility. And so you get to add that dice when you do combat. And so you dealt a total of 10 points of damage. Armor in this game is not like Dungeons and Dragons where it makes you harder to hit. In this case, armor absorbs damage. So let's say you hit yourself with that short spear, you would take 10 points of damage, but you have 2 armor points. On the bottom left of your character sheet, you can see you have studded leather. That's going to reduce that to 8 points of damage. So then you would reduce 8 hit points off of your character, which is almost half of your health. So you can see this can be a very deadly game. One spear thrust and you're in a world of hurt here. Your armor, if you notice below it, it says there's a bane on sneaking. So you have an advantage with the armor, but anytime you're making a sneaking roll, you're going to roll twice and take the highest of the rolls. And so it's just kind of a disadvantage in that situation. The only other thing we really need to cover before we get started is your abilities. And so just below where it says strength on your character sheet, click on that abilities tab, and you should both have some kin abilities or profession abilities, and you can click on that and you can then click on details. It kind of tells you, or description, excuse me, it'll tell you what it does. Hunting instincts for Bastonn will probably not come into play in this adventure, but veteran will. So veteran is something that I would encourage you to use. So you activate it at the start of a round, and it lets you keep your initiative card from the previous round instead of having to draw a new one. And this doesn't count as an action. But there's a cost. This is going to cost you willpower points. Veteran has a cost of 1 willpower point, and so you would reduce your willpower points by 1, and then you could use that special ability. Now Krisanna has something really cool for abilities. You have backstabbing and hard to catch. So let's look at hard to catch first. This one will cost you 3 willpower points. And whenever you are trying to dodge an attack, someone's trying to hit you, if you dodge it, you get a boon to your evasion roll. So you basically get advantage on trying to get away. And that's going to cost you 3 willpower points. You also have backstabbing, which with that one's going to cost you 3. But when you're making a melee attack against an enemy that's also within 2 meters of another player character, i.e. Bastonn is engaged with someone, you sneak up and stick them in the back. They cannot dodge or parry it. You get a boon to the roll, and you'll deal additional damage. So this is a fantastic thing to have. And you've got 15 willpower points, so you can kind of manage those resources accordingly, like when you think, this might be a good time to do that. So the last thing I want to do is just talk about how you recover hit points and willpower points. So the time in this game, there's 3 units of time. There's a round, which is 10 seconds. There is a stretch, which is like 15 minutes. And there's a shift, which is like 8 hours. And so the first healing, you can do a round rest, and then you just rest for a second, kind of recover yourself from battle, and you can roll 1d6, and that's how many willpower points you will recover. So if you want to recover willpower, that's the easiest way. The next rest is a stretch rest, a 15-minute rest, or short rest, like in Dungeons & Dragons. And in this one, you will recover 1d6 hit points, 1d6 willpower points, and you will remove a condition from your character. So if you have that angry condition, you could click that and remove that. And you can do that once per shift, which is 8 hours. So really during this adventure, it's not going to take that much in-game time, you probably have 2 shots at healing. A round rest to recover some willpower, and a stretch rest to recover hit points and willpower and remove a condition. Other than that, any questions before we get started?
No.
Okay. There are a few other things that will come up in-game, and if they don't, at the end we'll go over them. It's basically what you do when you roll a dragon, which is like rolling a 1, which is really good. In that case, a few special things happen if it's combat, or if it is if it's a skill that gives you a chance to improve it. Now, Reese, I think you said you'd played like Call of Cthulhu and RuneQuest.
Yeah.
So like if you succeed in a skill, you check the box, and then at the end of the adventure, you roll to see if you improve that skill. And that's,
you have to
you try and
pass during
fail
the game
roll
and
then.
fail after it.
Yeah,
Yep.
So it's the same in this. So at the end of the session, anything that we have rolled a dragon on, you'll get an auto check on that to see if you can improve that. And then there's also a little questionnaire that you answer to get points to choose other skills to roll. We'll get to that at the very end. But if you do roll a dragon, then hey, I'm going to get a chance to improve that at the end. And that's how you level up in this game. There's no levels, there's no experience points. It's just improving your skills and getting better and better, just like RuneQuest or Call of Cthulhu, which, in fact, this is based on the BRP system, which those are based on as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me just grab my stuff here. All right. I'm going to take us to a map. And on this map, I'm going to ping the map. I can hold down the left button and ping the map, and you should be able to see where I just pinged on the map, kind of bottom center. You can see a big rift in the ground, and there's a church next to it. That's where we are at.
Oh, yeah.
The nameless chapel stands at the edge of Deepfall Breach. The mortared stones of the structure have stood fast against time, wind, and calamity, but its stained glass windows lie scattered in shards, and the heavy oaken doors hang loose and creaking on ancient hinges. You are caught amid a torrential rain, so you slip inside, eager to escape both the downpour and the baleful red glow emanating from the depths of the breach. Inside, the chapel casts a shadow of itself. Rotting pews, piles of refuse, tattered tapestries depicting battles long forgotten. Candles lend their meager glow in flickering clusters, while fragrant smoke curls from incense burners. Maze-like etchings litter a large desk occupying the far wall. You hear a voice. Maddening, aren't they? The gruff, weathered voice precedes a hunched form dislodging itself from the shadows. Silver streaks the coal-black fur of a wolfkin draped in ratty robes. He leans on a wicked-looking two-handed hammer. Numerous scars mark the wolfkin's lupine visage, with a stone sphere replacing his left eye. The breach, he continues, nodding towards the desk littered with labyrinthine maps. Impossible to map with any accuracy. He introduces himself as Stonegaze, although he also supplies his true name, Ingolfr. The name is not unknown to you, but the Ingolfr of whom you've heard tell is a fearsome warrior and famed hunter of demons, not an old hermit priest. Have ye come to delve the breach? He asks. There's good to be done. justice to be dealt, and riches to be uncovered, if ye've the mettle for it.
I came to get out of the rain. You know what the smell of wet dog is.
Ah, yes. I could smell you from a short distance off. You look to be brave and bold, and your friend, although diminutive, looks to be quite capable with those knives at her waist. Are you the sort to face down danger? Or the sort to cower around candles and maps like an old wolf, tired from a lifetime of battle?
Watch your tongue, old man.
Ah, a warrior after my own heart. Let me tell you something. The leader of a sect of demon cultists holds the Worldbreaker Shard, the tip of the abyssal spear that split this land and created this breach. This power cannot stay in the grasp of those demon cultists. Foul magics cloud their location from my sight, so ye must locate the shard through other means. Seek below a band of cultists transporting a prisoner, an orc named Goram. Goram knows the location of the cultist outpost and may serve as a valuable ally in the days to come. Do you accept this challenge?
Gonna wait till the rain's over?
Ah, yes. Come and dry your fur here, near these candles. Study these maps. Head out when you are ready. What of you, little one?
Yes, I'm ready.
Excellent. I know some of the ways through Deepfall Breach, but there are many paths that you can take. Some I know already, and I can teach you, but some you will have to discover on your own. For the foul magics cloud my sight, and some I cannot see what lies ahead. And so then as we continue through here, let me just explain how this would work if you were doing the solo adventure. And this is part of the solo adventure that comes in the core box set. So this first adventure has basically 5 encounters, 5 areas, and it gives you 3 of them. And then 2 of them you have to randomly generate. So I've gone ahead and done that ahead of time and made these rooms. But if you wanted to do the solo adventure, when you get to one of these that is undescribed, there are tables you can roll on, and then you just kind of come up with the scene and let it rip. So we're going to go ahead and go through this, and as you're traveling through the breach, just be aware that there's many paths. You can come back here many times and have different adventures, but the path he sets you on will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 encounters. Are you ready to tackle it?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Excellent.
I put my hood on and I say, let's go.
Perfect.
You know, you didn't get much taller with that.
It's got a tall hood on there, adds a few inches. Let's activate the first scene. You recall Ingolfr's voice as you make your way through the darkness. A sloping corridor carries you into the oppressive depths of the breach. Tread softly, lest ye wake the creatures of fang and wing, nesting within the cracks and hollows of this ancient passage. So you find yourselves here near the top of this plunging path. You have been warned by Ingolfr to avoid waking the creatures of fang and wing, and you can see every now and then bats flitting up ahead, and these are not normal-sized bats. These are quite large and look rather fearsome in the darkness. There are some lights that seem to have been placed upon this path as though this is oft used by adventurers. But you have but one choice before you, and that is to continue down the plunging path. The first thing I'm going to have each of you do is to make an awareness roll. So on your character sheet, under skills, find awareness. Go ahead and click on that. Oh, okay, so here's a dragon. That's perfect. And a 10. Okay, so both were success. The dragon, however, something special happens with that. And if you look at your character sheet, Bastonn, if you look under skills, next to awareness, there's a little, like an up arrow. If you click on the actual skill tab, that means that you rolled a dragon, so you're going to have a chance to upgrade this at the end of the adventure. And so anytime you do that, this will automate that for you.
So, like, this is the first time, when I rolled my spears earlier,
Uh-huh.
I got that same check mark. But are you indicating that it only goes up? I only get a chance to roll it if I roll a 1.
No, so yes, that's correct. Only if you roll a 1. So you did succeed on your spears, and you actually rolled a demon on your spears. You rolled a 20 with your long spear. If you scroll up through the chat bar, you can see that. That does not count as improving. You want to roll a 1. And so you just did on your awareness roll, and so now you've got that little up arrow next to under your core skills under awareness. So at the end of the adventure, you'll have a chance to try and improve that. So any skill that you roll a dragon on through this adventure, you'll have a chance to improve.
So if you go up to the chat and everything, and and if this is taking too much out, let me know.
No, you're good.
After,
You're good.
After the demon information, I rolled my short spear.
Yes.
And then I rolled damage.
Yes.
And then I saw there was a check mark in spears, and when I unchecked it, that's when the Foundry VTT spears came in. It rolled it automatically.
Oh, I see. Yes. So, I see what you say. Yeah. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put that back on there for you. That should have been on there. Yeah, there we go.
So that was just test rolls to learn things about it.
Yeah, right. So yeah, let's not leave that on there. But yeah, had this been during the adventure, and that one doesn't count there. Had this been during the adventure, then that would have counted towards the end when it would have been time to make those improvements. And we'll get to that again at the very end when that happens.
Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to understand is I make the improvement like that. Just so you know, I don't know if I can probably, I can edit it. I got to get back down to 15. I think I can edit it.
But it should be off on spears. I'm looking at your sheet right now. Is that what you're trying to do?
It is, but but when you clicked it off, it rolled for improvement, and my spear went from 14 to 15.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, let me just move that back to 14. There we go.
But
perfect.
In this case, I succeeded, not just a regular success, not a dragon or whatever. And I got a check at the end. At the end, I got to do an improvement check. But when I rolled the 1 on awareness, you said that was what would trigger me getting an improvement check. The fact that I rolled a 1, not just any pass on awareness.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to any pass. Only dragons or demons will do that for you. And so, if you roll a dragon or a demon, it will check that box for you. But if you just roll a success, so like in Call of Cthulhu, any success would check that box. In Dragonbane, only a dragon or a demon would check that box.
Okay, so only if I do really, really good or really, really bad. Got it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Correct.
That's the part I failed to get because I didn't understand that a crit fail.
Yes, that also you learn from your mistakes, kind of thing. So it's not horrible, if you get that critical fail, you still have a chance at the very end of the adventure to try and improve that skill. So back to the adventure at hand, you both got a success, and in fact, Bastonn, you got a dragon, you got a special success. So you are both aware that this is going to require a certain element of skill. Sneaking is going to be probably the best skill at this point, and because you rolled that dragon, I'm going to give you a boon on your sneaking roll. So you can both make that sneaking roll, but you'll get a boon Bastonn. And when you go to click on that, it should give you the option to add boons or banes onto your roll.
Do boons and banes offset each other?
They do. And so if you've got a boon and a bane, they'll cancel out. You can have 2 boons and a bane kind of thing. Krisanna succeeded on her sneaking roll. And you also succeeded. So I believe you have a bane because of your armor on sneaking, and so that boon canceled that out.
Yeah, I injected.
Perfect. Now, as you begin this skulking pathway through here, one thing to understand that Ingolfr warned you of before you headed into the breach, he told you of a certain threat, a threat that would be pressing upon you. A trio of goblin scouts plunder the breach, looting ancient crypts and robbing any who wander across their path. In the solo adventure, there is a threat score, and it's you basically take a 6-sided die and you start out on the 1, and anytime that you spend a long period of time, basically 15 minutes, a stretch of time, you advance that 1 more level. So if you tarry in an area, that will get advanced. Likewise, if you do a stretch rest, that will get advanced. Or if you want to search for loot, that will also get advanced. You can scavenge a body really quickly, but if you're searching an area trying to find treasures, that's going to advance. When that hits 6, then this trio of goblins will show up on the scene and attack. You know that they're wandering through here, but there's a good chance that you will encounter them if that threat level gets high enough. So right now your threat level is at 1, and I'll keep track of that by myself, and once that hits 6, then the goblins will attack. And that doesn't always happen. Many times you can get through the adventure and not have that threat level hit 6, but if it does, that's how that mechanic works in the game.
And that mechanic is tracked by the GM, and it's not something that the
Yes.
players
Yep,
have to worry about. It's not something players generally don't know when they're at a threat level.
Exactly.
But players do know certain actions will increase the threat level.
Yes. Yep.
Does checking for treasure always increase it by 1?
For the most part, yes. So anytime you do, the skill is spot hidden, just like in Call of Cthulhu. Anytime you do, you try to spot something hidden, you're searching for something, it takes about 10-15 minutes if you're giving it a thorough search. If you are just doing like a quick scan, like an awareness roll, that doesn't come into play. But if you're really looking under stuff and around things, it's going to take a little time. And the first few times you do something that's going to take time, I'll warn you and say, this is going to take about 10 or 15 minutes. Are you okay with that? If you are, then I'm going to advance that threat die. And if it hits 6, then this trio of goblin scouts will stumble upon you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Perfect. So you both succeed on your sneaking roll, and you can make your way through this plunging path without alerting the creatures that dwell up in the darkness. Is there anything you wish to do? Do you want to search this area for any sort of clues or treasures, or do you want to hasten into the next room?
Yeah, I don't need that guano, and
Exactly.
I don't see anyone chanting here. So
Nope. Looks like there's no cultists here. Krisanna, how about you?
Yeah, no, I'm just moving along. I'm just
Sticking to the shadows, skulking,
exactly.
finding your way into the next
That's my thing.
area. This is going to be
I
more
like
to
shadows.
your flavor here, then. This is the Charred Tomb. And you recall Ingolfr's voice. Fire long ago ravaged this once grand mausoleum. It holds 5 remaining sarcophagi amid piles of ash. Find ye a path through a door hidden within one of these coffins, but disturb not the scorched dead nor the hidden trap. So you come into this room and see these 5 sarcophagi. Ash and dust litters the ground. You have been warned that one of these contains a doorway, and there is a concern that it may be trapped. And you have been warned to disturb not the hidden dead in here. I will pull you into the room. Krisanna, we'll start with you. How would you like to proceed?
Ooh. I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna try and spot for anything hidden. Maybe
That would be a good idea. I think it's probably worth taking the time to search here because you know there's a trap and there's a hidden door in one of these coffins. And you
Yeah.
probably don't want to just go flinging them open. So why don't you give me a spot hidden roll? And I will tell you that is going to advance the threat tracker, but I think it's
Yeah.
probably worth it in this case.
Yes.
Excellent. You search the room for a few minutes, and it's difficult to find anything, any clues. Nothing looks to have been disturbed, but then you find a footprint, a very faint boot print near this coffin here. There are two boot prints now that you begin to trace out a path. It looks as though someone stepped towards this coffin here, and then the boot prints disappear.
Interesting. So I tell Bastonn of my findings. I see. Hey, take a looky here. I found something.
Oh yeah, I was standing earlier a second ago. No, yeah, I think it's a good find. I was gonna try to do something similar. So would
If
it
you
be
want
like,
to also roll a spot hidden during the 15 minutes that Krisanna was doing that, you would be welcome to do that as well.
well, one? I was gonna ask what bushcraft is.
So bushcraft would be like a nature check in Dungeons and Dragons. That would be to
Okay,
determine anything outside in the woods in the environment. That probably is not going to come into play here. Myths and
all right.
legends
So
might come into play here.
what I was thinking, since the bat walk had um, torches and everything, indicating this is a relatively heavily traveled place, I would have used either I'd use like hunting and fishing to continue following tracks.
I would say I'll let you give me a hunting roll. I'm going to put a bane on that because you're not necessarily tracking game, um, and so it's going to be a little more difficult to track here. But
Sure.
you don't ask, you don't get. Let's see what we get.
I
Okay,
failed either way.
so you failed. However, if you want, you can either just take the failure or you can push the roll. And if you do that, you'll take a condition, and you'll choose which condition you take. I will warn you that you're going to be our main line of defense should we encounter any combatants, and so you probably don't want to take one to your strength until you absolutely have to, because that's going to affect your
I,
spear rolls.
I'm actually okay failing the roll.
Filling it? Okay. So you search around and you see some small boot prints, and these look relatively fresh. And you follow them a few paces and a few more, and then you realize, much to your dismay, that they are Krisanna's boot prints in the dust. And you wonder how you could have made such a mistake, but you do not say anything to her because you would dread to let her think that you had stumbled upon something so obvious and been confused by it. She looks at you and sees you kind of surveying the ground, and perhaps she waits impatiently by that coffin.
Anything?
Um, uh, uh, no, it's too well hidden for me. What'd you find?
Yeah, I found those footprints that seems to be heading here.
Oh, well, let's go there then.
But I don't want to disturb. Can I do a myths and legends check?
Yes, please do. So that was not a success. If you want, again, you can take the failure, or if you want to push that roll, you can take one of those conditions and then try again.
I was so close too because my score
You're
is
like a 6? Oh, shoot.
I'm gonna take... Okay, I'm gonna push it.
Okay, so which condition? Go ahead and click which condition you're going to take, and then click on
Yes, I
push
did.
roll. Okay, perfect.
So I was like, oh, this is not getting as good as I wanted to, and it was making me a bit
Yeah, you're like, I know there's something about ancient crypts and the what was it that Ingolfr said? He said something about be careful, be cautious of the scorched dead. What could he have meant? And you recall that oftentimes ancient kings, when they were buried, many of their servants would be burned alive and buried with them to serve them in the afterlife. And you fear that perhaps that is what dwells in whichever of these coffins is not the correct one. You also recall that such burial sites were often warded or guarded, and you suspect there could be some sort of trap here. But you'd have to search to find that.
What should we do next, Bastonn? Do you have any idea?
Well, I think this is the one we want to go on, but they did say something about a trap, so can we look for?
Yeah, I don't want to
Look for the
trigger or something.
Krisanna, give me an awareness roll.
Oh, me. Do that. You said an awareness?
Yes, please.
Let's do this.
Okay. Do you want to push that roll? Or do you want to take
damn!
the failure?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna take the failure here because...
Okay. You can't find anything on here that would indicate that this could be trapped. There's no markings. You don't see any small wires or any magical symbols etched upon here.
I turn to Bastonn and I say, "It looks clean to me."
I'll take your word for it. Stand back. I'll try to get the lid moved or whatever. So I'll try to figure out how the door works.
Yep.
Yeah,
It looks like you can just slide it off, but that's going to take a strength roll.
Sure, no worry, no problem.
Excellent. So you easily manage to push this off, and there's the grating, grinding of stone as this happens. And I think I might actually have... yeah, there we are. You slide that off, and a small puff of gas is emitted right up into your nostrils, and you rear your head back as though you have just inhaled some sort of toxic gas. So we're going to get to try out a trap. This is a poison gas trap. I'm going to show you how these work. So this trap has a potency rating. This has a potency of 12. And so you will need to make a constitution roll, and I will make a roll for the poison. My poison needs to roll a 12 or lower. You need to beat your constitution, which
both of us, or I'm far enough away?
Just Bastonn. His is a 17. So he got a 9. And so then I'm going to roll for the poison, and if I fail, then Bastonn will be just fine. So I actually failed. So I rolled above a 12, and so he kind of shakes off the effects of the poison. he will suffer just a limited effect rather than the full effect. So this is a sleeping poison, and so it's very good that you didn't fail this. You would end up taking some damage. Instead, you are just going to become dazed. And so go ahead and click the dazed condition on your character sheet.
Oh, so situations can give us conditions too.
As well, yes. And so then let's say something else comes along that gives you the dazed condition. If you already have it, you have to pick a different condition.
Okay.
Did you see where to give yourself that condition, Bastonn, on your character sheet?
I do not.
So just below agility.
Oh, it's under age.
Score. Yep,
Agility.
Perfect, right
Yeah.
there. Now Foundry will automatically give you a Bane anytime you make an agility roll or any skill that uses agility. If you're playing at a table, you just need to remember that you have a Bane on that because of the condition. So now that you have some conditions, if you guys wanted to do a stretch rest, you could do that to recover willpower, hit points, and conditions. But since you haven't really suffered any willpower or hit point loss yet, I probably would hold on for a little bit.
I would be fine right now, myself.
Well, the good news is that you see a set of stairs leading down into the darkness. This is the doorway. You have discovered it, and you proceed downwards into the next area.
Ooh.
A large tree with bone-white leaves. The glow of bioluminescent fungi everywhere. How ancient must this tree be? Perhaps this is a peaceful way station for travelers to rest. So just as an aside, this is one of the rooms that was not in the adventure, and so I had to flesh this out, and I made a few rolls, and then based on what I rolled, this is the scene that we come up with. So this looks very peaceful. You see the glow of bioluminescent fungi, this ancient tree. In the absence of sunlight, the leaves are bone white. And this time I will let Bastonn. What would you like to do first?
Well, I think this time I'll use the bushcraft ability to see if I know what kind of tree this is and what the white leaves means.
Perfect. Go ahead and make a bushcraft roll.
No.
Do you want to push that roll? You'll take a condition if you did.
Yeah. Sure. I give up. Nope.
You have lost all hope. You've never seen a tree like this before. A tree growing deep in the Underdark is such a foreign term to you that you cannot comprehend how this could be here. However, that bioluminescent fungi, you know that there are often symbiotic relationships. One gives to the other, one takes. That the fungi perhaps provides the nutrients that this tree needs with the absence of sunlight. Krisanna, while he is studying the tree, please give me an awareness roll.
That's exactly what I wanted to do, so...
Perfect. Do you want to push that roll?
Let's get to it. Damn it, I see nothing.
Oh no. So angry. But because of your anger, you are the first to notice slowly moving creatures in the darkness. These are carnivorous fungi.
Bastonn, look out!
Excuse me. You have spotted them before they could prey upon Bastonn. We're going to start combat. I'm going to pull us all into a combat here.
I mean, did we spot early that we could have a surprise round or something? Or I don't know.
I'm going to say not a surprise round, but you avoid Bastonn being surprised.
Okay.
Okay. So the way that combat will work Foundry's going to be a little different from at the table. Excuse me. Normally at the table, you would draw a card. There's cards 1 through 10. That's your initiative card. Foundry's going to do that for you. If you go to the upper right next to the chat bubbles, there's 2 crossed swords, the combat encounter. And that will show all 4 of you up there.
All right.
If you click on... I'm going to click on Draw All, which will give everyone a card. So the order of the cards is Bastonn will go first, and then one of the fungi, then the second fungi, and then Krisanna the Bold will go last. You have the option of exchanging cards if you wanted to in combat. If not, we will just go ahead and begin. And Bastonn will go first. Do you want to exchange your card with Krisanna?
I do not.
Okay. I will begin combat. Okay, so Bastonn will go first. You should be able to pull up a tool that will help you on here. If you right-click yourself, at the upper left there should be like some crossed swords, and that's going to pull up a little HUD at the bottom. And that should show like your long spear and short spear. There's also a dodge and a parry and things like that. Do you all see that?
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. Now, you can target whichever fungi you want. You can right-click on that fungi, and then there's going to be like a little bullseye symbol. If you click on that, it will target him. He'll have 4 little kind of arrows pointing at him. And then you can make your attack. And so you will, from here, you could throw your short spear, or you could move up and attack with your long spear.
I just have a question. For me, the picture kind of got moved to the upper right, and it's not good. And
so you can drag the picture. If you hold down the right arrow and move the mouse, it will move the whole picture. You could try zooming in and out, and that may help.
Yes, that helped.
Perfect. So Bastonn, you are up. On your turn, you get 1 action. That can be an attack, that can be a parry, that can be a dodge. You can be a dash, which is a double move. Normally you could move, I think everyone's movement is 10 meters, which is basically 5 squares. A square is a 2 by 2 meter square. But you've got enough room if you want to move up and attack with your long spear, you can. Is that what you choose to do?
Yep.
Excellent. So go ahead and roll your long spear. You can either do it from your character sheet or from that HUD at the bottom.
Sorry, I entered a tutorial.
13. That is a success. So now I have to choose, does this fungi want to try to dodge this? He can't parry. He doesn't have a weapon. He's not real smart, so he's not going to dodge this. If he did dodge, that would take his turn. So on his turn, he could... anytime during the round, you can take a reaction to dodge, but then that takes up your turn for the round. So he is not going to dodge that. So if you want to click on the roll damage over on the chat bar. Excellent. So he takes 19 damage. Now I can apply that to him, and he's dead. You took him out. He only had 12 hit points. You finished him off. Now the other...
I eat salads. I eat salads, not the other way around.
Well, these ones are definitely carnivorous. So he was coming at you, and his buddy mindlessly will come towards you, and he's going to attack. Now, you don't have the option of parrying or dodging because you have already used your action for the round. This is going to say he's using a broadsword. I wasn't able to get this to switch over to... yeah, mine's doing the tutorial as well. Let's get this the right way. There we go. He is going to attack you with claws. And he succeeded. So he will roll damage against you. Only 5. And you have armor, so I'm going to apply this to you. And you take 3 points of damage because your armor absorbed 2 of that. And now, Krisanna, it is your turn.
Yes. How far away would you say I am from this fungi?
So you have enough movement you could move up and attack if you chose to. Or if you wanted, you could You could move up about halfway, and you could throw your knives or your dagger.
No, I want to backstab him using my
Perfect.
3 willpower.
So you can move
So-
yourself right up next to him.
So, in the back.
Yep.
All right.
And then under your abilities, you can click on backstabbing. And that should kind of tell you what you're doing. So it will cost you 3 willpower points. In doing so, they cannot dodge or parry. You get a boon to the attack, and your weapon dice damage will be increased by 1. So if you want to reduce your willpower by 3 from your character sheet, and then you can make a dagger roll, and you can add a boon to that.
I use my dagger with a boon. And I'm gonna Did that work?
I don't think that did a boon. So you were trying to find a weak spot, which you didn't need to do. That actually gave you a bane. So just go ahead and roll a d20. If you can either just type it in the box, or you can just click on the little d20 dice and give me another one, because you might get a dragon here. And if you get a demon, we're still taking the 7. So we'll take the 4. That's a better roll. So that's a success. So you're going to deal damage. So it's going to deal your dagger's damage. So you can click on that button, or it's going to be a d8 plus your agility bonus, which is a d6, plus you get an extra d8. So if you want to roll one more d8 because of the backstab, you can deal at least 3 points of damage. Yes, you did. So this guy is dead as well. Excellent. Well, that wasn't much of a... Whoops, I just took Bastonn off the map on accident. Let me bring him back out here.
Yeah,
That
they killed
wasn't
me.
much of a... they swallowed you whole. There you are.
We
so
just
you managed to
played
get through
our
your
characters
first
the best
battle.
way.
Right? So, well done, Krisanna. That was fantastic. Well done using your special ability. Bastonn, you took out that guy with one slash or stab of your spear. Krisanna, as you were engaged, or as Bastonn was engaged, you managed to sneak up and lay that sword right into him, or that dagger. You have a moment here if you want to scavenge for anything, or if you want to spend like that 15 minutes to search the area, you can. You know that this is likely a way station for travelers, and there's a chance that some others may have been preyed upon in the past, and you may find some of their loot here. But I leave it up to you.
Is it worth it?
Oh, I like loot.
Everyone
but
likes
let's
loot.
go for it. Yeah,
So if you
let's
guys
go
want
for
to
it.
give me an awareness roll.
Awareness roll. Oh, I have a bane to that. That's gonna
Yep.
be fun.
Oh, so you'll take the 18. Do you want to push that roll?
No.
Okay. And then, Bastonn, what did you get?
Even worse. Nope.
All right. I'm going to roll. So there's a random table. It's the scavenge table. I'm going to roll on that. You find a field ration. Would either of you like that field ration?
No. I understand you short people eat a lot, so.
Yep. Second breakfast and all. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that field ration over onto Krisanna.
I'm gonna say thank you.
Don't thank me till you after you eat it.
Field ration. Let me just drag this onto your character sheet. There, now you got a field ration on there. Perfect. You continue on into the next area. This is another one that was not in the adventure that I had to come up with, and what I rolled on here, I'm thinking, how can I use this? And then I had a wonderful idea that is just absolutely ghastly. Let me pull you both here onto the scene.
That's what you were saying that when you said you were trying to find out how to kill us. That's what.
Yep. So, the pathway ahead ends at a locked portcullis. Beyond is a fleshy bridge made of a mass of cyclopean tentacles. Myths and legends tell of a great old one that dwelled in the deep. Perhaps it is slumbering, perhaps not. Either way, the goal of your quest lies beyond this fleshy bridge. So the first thing you have to get through is a locked portcullis in this little gatehouse over here. And then you have to cross that fleshy bridge to the other side. Who would like to go first? Or how would you like to get through this portcullis?
Can I try to slide a hand?
Oh, you were breaking up on me there. What was that?
Can I try to slide a hand? I don't know. I don't know if the portcullis is locked or so. I'm trying to turn it if it's something that needs to be handled in a dexterous fashion through sliding a hand, or just through brute strength of lifting it up.
So you
Or
could probably
if there's
do it either way. So if you want to try to,
or if there's a lever.
lift that portcullis, or you could search for the lever if there is indeed one, or perhaps you could try and using agility, maybe use your spear to try and trigger a lever if there's one inside. I think an awareness roll would probably be worthwhile here.
While he's doing that, can I do a myths and legends roll?
Yes, you sure can.
Nope, just a portcullis.
Either of you want to push your rolls here?
No.
So, Bastonn, you peer around and you don't see any sort of lever. You think you might have to just spit on your paws, grab the bars, and heave with all your might and see if you can't lift this up. And Krisanna,
Yes.
you rack your brain about, some great tentacled beast that lives in the deep, and nothing short of nightmare comes to mind. But you know that this looks to be too realistic to be carved from stone. Perhaps this is indeed some sort of fleshy appendage of some great beast that dwells down into the depths. If Krisanna, if you wanted to try picking a lock on that portcullis, you do indeed see there's a locking mechanism. You could attempt that.
Yeah, that would be a sleight of hand, I imagine.
That would. That is correct. Oh, so that's a demon. That's bad. So, that's like 2 or 3 that you've rolled now. We know how that works. Let's roll some good stuff. You peer around and you see what must be a lock. And as you press your blade into it, you twist and you turn, you hear the satisfying click, and you realize now that the tentacles begin to stir, as though your movements, your actions have somehow alerted whatever that is to your presence. And time is of the essence now.
Oh, good job. Maybe it'll lift the portcullis for us.
Yeah. It'll knock that whole little tower off, and you'll sneak right through there.
I'll go ahead and try and just brute strength this thing up.
Perfect. Go ahead and give me a strength roll. Fantastic. You heave and you hear the rending of metal as you begin to lift and pry and pull, and you don't manage to raise it completely, but enough that you can slip under. You'd have to crawl on your hands and knees, but you'll be able to get through this okay. Krisanna, you notice the exertion as Bastonn begins to perspire quite heavily, and you know that he has just done an act that was not easily accomplished. You hear a rumble down in the deep, as though something is beginning to stir, and you notice the tentacles on the bridge begin to slowly and rhythmically writhe up and down. You can still cross, but it's going to be a little more difficult. It's going to take an agility roll to get across that. And it's going to be with a Bane.
Is that both of us?
Yes, both of you, please. Assuming you both want to
Yeah.
get across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a Bane
Agility,
because
right?
Yeah, I think you already have a Bane because of your condition, so you'll get double Bane.
two out of three, I bet.
Krisanna will succeed. You manage to scurry, halfling-like, over to the other side. Bastonn, the going is a little tough. Halfway across, the tentacle begins to undulate beneath your feet. You feel as though you are teetering, about to lose your balance. Do you want to push this roll?
So if I push this roll, do I roll all three again?
You will.
No.
Alternatively, you can come up with something else, another way to get through this without being agile, perhaps.
Um,
Or maybe if
I'm gonna
Krisanna
wait.
has something to help you
I'm gonna
with, and
I'm
you
gonna
want to try
wait
and
for
wait it
the
out.
no. I'm gonna wait for the undulation to get into a good position, and then I'm going to try to jump the rest of the distance and dive through the portcullis, or rather, I'm going to
Or
try and
over
dive through the rest of the
to the
distance.
other side. So you want to return back to where you came from, or to try and leap over to the
Yeah,
other side,
sorry, I'm trying to leap over to the other side.
to where Krisanna is. In order to time those undulations, I'm going to have you give me um, an intellect roll. You think
You know
you've
what?
got it. It's pretty close. Do you want to push this, or do you want to try and leap when it's maybe not at the right spot?
I'm I'm pretty scared, so I'll push this.
There we go. There you go. You got a dragon. So, in fact, it's almost as if the undulation just carries you, propagating you all the way across, and then you just step across over to Krisanna. It looks as though you meant to do that this entire time. You get to the other side, kind of grinning at yourself. It's like riding a wave, surfing towards the shore as you ride this tentacle over to where Krisanna is at. You hastily continue on into the darkness before whatever this creature was begins to thrash those tentacles about. Now, at this point, you've all got some conditions. You've all either lost some willpower points or some hit points. Do you want to do a rest here? There
Yeah,
is,
I
I think
would.
that's
you could do a
yeah.
round rest, which you will just recover hit points, or you could spend 15 minutes and actually recover hit points, willpower points, as well as each heal a condition. And if you do so,
I
that will advance that threat tracker.
I mean, for myself, I need to take away a condition and probably gain back willpower.
I
So,
I
think it would
I
be a good place to do it.
yeah, the 15-minute rest sounds best.
Okay, so you will each roll a 1d6 and regain that many willpower points. You can roll a
Oh,
1d6 and regain that many hit points. And then you can each remove one condition of your choice.
1 minute. Where's. I think I'm having issues with
With the dice roller,
the app completely. It seems to. What is
is
going
it
on?
is it frozen on you?
Nothing. Yeah, I think so.
If you want, you can hit F5 and refresh it. It should pull you right back in. If not, if you need to leave and come back in.
Yeah,
we'll
I think I need to. What? Okay. Yeah, I need to task manager it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take just a couple of minutes, and you can get that back online, and we will continue. We've got one room to go.
Cool.
I think I stay on the call, but
Yeah, you should be on the call. It'll just close out Foundry and then get back in, and you can use that link, and it should put you right back in.
all right. So 1d6.
There we go. Oh, excellent. So you'll get, I think you'd only spent 3 willpower, so you'll get all of that back.
Yes.
And then did you remove a condition?
I will in a minute.
Perfect.
I will remove the angry because it's one of my strong. And, whoops! I made a mistake. How do I heal them up? Oh, it's stretch rest, right? Correct?
Yep. Yes, stretch rest. So the red one would be hit points. The
Oh,
one would be
sorry.
willpower.
Oh well.
And
It
then
worked.
perfect. So you, yep, it looks like your condition went away as well.
Yes.
All right. To the last room.
Oh lord.
Here
That
we
looks
are.
like cultist to me.
You recall Ingolfr's voice. The cultists take refuge here with their prisoner. My sight cannot glean their aims, but the blood-stained altar at the center of this chamber has seen countless deaths at the hands of those seeking parley with demonic forces. But I sense fear, hesitation in these cultists. They'll not die needlessly for their cause, I suspect. Free Goram from their clutches. Give me a sneaking roll, both of you, to see if you can catch them unawares.
Hey, if we're quiet enough, we can catch them unawares.
Oh shit. Oh, that's you. Sorry, I thought that was me. Okay, I
Well,
did.
Krisanna is sneaky. Bastonn,
Not really.
not as
We're
sneaky
both-
as Krisanna. You
We're
probably
both really in character. We're both really in character right now.
yeah. This is exactly what you would expect. Bastonn, he wants nothing of stealth. He will take them head on, while as Krisanna tends to stick to the shadows. So as we come in here, let me pull in some figures. So we've got Krisanna. I'm going to put you kind of down in a corner because you are not spotted yet. Bastonn will be a little bit closer into the room. You've got a cult leader here doing sacrifice. You've got a cultist, 2 cultists over here, a cultist over here. In fact, we'll just say there's 2 over here. So Bastonn, you are
And we do not see the guy we're
Goram.
here to say.
You do.
Goram.
You see him chained up back behind the altar. So he's over here chained up. In fact, I've got a picture of him. Let me send you the picture. You can see what he looks like here. You can see him chained up back there behind the altar. Bastonn, as you stumble into this scene, you can see the cult leader preparing sacrifice, and 4 other cultists holding torches and watching fervently. I'm going to pull us all into combat. Krisanna, they are not aware of you. I'm going to go ahead and roll initiative cards for all of us. So Bastonn will go first, and then cultist number 4, Krisanna, 2 other cultists, the cult leader, and cultist number 2. So essentially, you guys are going to get a chance to go early. We'll go ahead and get started. Bastonn, you are first. Now, as far as distance goes, you are about a, let's say, you can move 10 meters. I'm going to say that you're about 8 meters from the cult leader. Excuse me. And about 10 meters from the other cultists. Doing Ingolfr's voice takes a toll on my vocal cords. So I'll let you go first. Who would you like to attack?
Bastonn will take out his long spear. Come running up the cult leader. Hey, the demon caught a hold of me. He said, "Get your name out of your filthy mouth." And he's going to stab him.
Excellent. So you can either target him or you can just go ahead and make that roll.
Yeah, I know how to target him by hitting the T button, but I don't know how to target him using the right click. That's
so you
right.
can right click and then there's a little bullseye. We'll say toggle target state.
Okay. That's fine. I've got him targeted. I want to do this. Stab, yeah.
Oof. Do you want to push that roll?
Oh, absolutely.
I think that'd be a good idea. I think angry is about right. He is going to attempt to parry this.
Sure.
So let me just pull him up here real quick. And he will attempt to parry with his longsword.
But that means he doesn't get to attack this round.
Right,
so
that takes away his attack. So even if he succeeds, which he does not, so not only does he not succeed, but that takes up his action for the turn. So he tries to block your long spear with his long sword, but you are too fast and too agile. Go ahead and roll damage.
Is he able to push that roll?
He is not. So enemies cannot push rolls.
Only 10.
Only 10. And clearly he has some armor because he only took 6 points of damage.
Cool.
We go to cultist number 4, who is let's see, this guy.
Can you ping him? Show us which one it is.
I believe it is this guy here. Cultist number 4 will go. He will attack Bastonn with a broadsword. And he rolled a demon, which is really bad for him. Really good for you. So he ends up swinging that sword and it gets stuck in the stone altar. And he's going to have to make a strength roll as his next action, which will be next turn to try and get that free. So as he swings, you agilely step to the side. The blade strikes deep into the stone and becomes wedged in there. And he looks at you with a look of panic on his face, realizing all you have to do is swing that spear around and you could finish him off.
First day in the cult?
Yes. Krisanna, your turn.
I think I'm gonna sneak and because this seems like a dark place, I'm gonna sneak in the shadows, and I'm gonna sneak right behind him, and I'm gonna backstab him again.
Perfect. So give me a sneaking roll. Normally, to try and sneak up behind someone to give them a backstab, you would have to get right next to them. There would be a Bane on that roll. Are you using your special ability to backstab?
Yes, I was going to, yes.
So then you don't need to do that. You just get to do that ability, so it'll cost you the willpower points. And then you'll be able to make that attack.
Do I do a sneak agility before, or just...
If you use that ability, you don't have to. Unless you're still trying to be stealthy. Because you are going to pass kind of close to another cultist. But if you're trying to be stealthy, you can make that roll. But if you just want to get up there and backstab him, you can spend the willpower to activate your ability.
I mean, is there a way that the other cannot see me do this?
If you make a sneaking roll, absolutely.
Yeah.
And normally you would have a Bane on that, but I would give you a boon because you have been hidden. And so that's just going to be a straight sneaking roll.
Okay, a straight sneaking roll. Perfect.
Also, I'm making a lot of noise.
Perfect.
I'm gonna push.
You want to push that? Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna push with my strength because I'm tired, but
yeah, your agility is your top one. That's
I already took that one. Oh no, because I clicked it on my sheet instead.
Let's unclick that. Let's make sure that comes out of there. There we go. Okay, let's try that again.
Now I'm gonna do this.
Much better. Okay, so you sneak up. You can make your weapon attack now, and it will be with a boon, and he cannot block or dodge.
Take my 3 willpower to do that, and thus with target him with
Oh, look at that. We'll take the 2. So you're going to roll damage, and you will add an extra 1d8 to that. And go ahead and roll a 1d8 as well. Takes 8 points of damage. He is very much near death. We go to cultist number 3, the one that you just snuck past. He is, because you snuck past, he's not aware of you, even after you stabbed his buddy in the back. He is going to come around to help to protect the cult leader. That's going to be his action. Cultist number 1 is going to come up and attack Bastonn.
Well, the other guy had enough movement to come around and hit me, right?
He did, but he's going up because you just speared the cult leader. He's going to go up to protect the cult leader on this turn.
Oh, so he can use his action to protect someone else?
Well, he used his entire action to move up there.
Okay.
He dashed.
He dashed, exactly.
Okay.
He hits you with a broadsword. You're going to take a little more damage here. You cannot block. Well, your armor's going to block all but 1 point of this, so no worries there. And then we get to
don't tickle me to death.
the cult leader, having been stabbed with a spear, he used his action to try and defend, and so his action is gone. He can do nothing. So we come to the last cultist, and he is likewise going to move up to help to defend the cult leader. And we go to the second round of combat. Initiative cards are shuffled. The cult leader will go first. He is going to slash at Bastonn with his long sword. Yes, do you have a question?
Now,
Do you want to use
yeah, because
your action?
I did. I used I spent a willpower and I locked in my number, but it looks like someone else got dealt the same number.
So, and they'll end up going after you. So that's part of the problem with Foundry is it doesn't limit you to just one number 3, which it should.
Okay.
If you were playing in person, the number 3 wouldn't have been available. So you kept number 3 as your initiative card. The cultist rolled.
Yeah.
He drew card number 2, so he will go first.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
But yeah, so it does show 2 3s up there, but technically, you still will go ahead of cultist number 4.
Let's say it's 3.5.
There we go. That's probably a good way to think of it. He is going to attack Bastonn with his long sword. He slashes overhand at you, trying to find the range. And it's going to be a hit. Do you want to try to parry this with your spear? You can dodge the attack, or you can just take the hit.
You know what? I'm going to try to use my evade.
Okay.
Is that
Yep, so that's going to be a dodge.
dodge or
So go ahead and make a dodge roll.
it doesn't use my evade roll?
It's called dodge, but it uses evade. Now I will, before you roll that, so if you succeed, then you will take no damage. If you parry, you can parry with your longsword, and if you succeed, you will likewise take no damage. But if you roll a dragon, a 1, you'll get a free attack on him. So there is an advantage to parrying. Plus your spear is probably higher than your evade, so you're probably more likely to parry than you are to dodge. But
yeah.
I will leave that choice up to you.
You know what? No, I'm gonna take the hit.
Take the hit.
Yep. Come at me, bro. I'll take 7.
You'll take 7. I'll go ahead and throw that onto your character.
Okay.
Perfect. It is Bastonn's turn, and you have your action.
Just wondering how are you looking out there health-wise?
Well, once you go ahead and keep attacking the ones without a sword, and I'll take care of these guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stab this guy.
Stab the leader. Perfect.
Okay. And he will.
Excellent. Now he's used his action, so he cannot dodge or defend, so you'll just roll. Excellent. Let me apply that damage to him. He is very nearly down. And you recall Ingolfr's words that he sensed hesitation in these cultists. And you think that perhaps if you could take out the leader, there's a good chance the rest will run.
Yeah. Meeting's adjourned, boys.
You go to cultist number 4. He's the one he has to pull his sword out, and he just got stabbed in the back. He's going to use his action to wrench his sword free from the from the stone. We go to cultist number 3. He is defending the leader. He's going to attack Bastonn. He attacks with broadsword. And that's going to be a hit, and you cannot dodge.
Yep, nothing I can do about it.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
You swing like a halfling. Oh, wait.
Wait, we have a halfling among us. In fact, it's the halfling's turn. Krisanna, what do you do? That guy's got his sword back. He's near death. You want to take him out, or do you want to throw a knife and try and hit the leader? Do you want to run? Live to survive another day? I don't recommend that.
I think I'm gonna throw a knife at the leader.
Okay, go for it. Target the leader. Give me a knife roll. You pull your favorite knife from its sheath. Does this knife have a name?
Cheeky.
Cheeky. Excellent. You pull out Cheeky and you hurl it at the leader. Go ahead and roll damage. And the leader drops, with Cheeky embedded in his throat. He reaches up to clutch at his throat as he spins around, a fountain of blood spraying across the altar. The other cultists look in horror at what has happened, and they turn to flee. Now, Bastonn, you will get a free attack on all three cultists, and Krisanna, you will get an attack on this cultist here, cultist number 4. So let's do that one first. So Krisanna, go ahead and take a free attack on cultist number 4.
Alright.
Give yourself a boon on that.
Oh, let's go.
Because of the boon, go ahead and roll damage. You slash this guy in the back and take him out as well. Bastonn, you can get a free attack on one of these two cultists.
Well, I know this guy hits like a girl, so I'll go the other one.
Perfect. Maybe he'll be a foe worthy of your metal.
And a boot on this or no?
Yeah, take a boon on that one as well. Ooh, a demon or a 2. With the boon, we'll take the 2. Go ahead and roll damage.
Yeah.
Just, why are you giving us a boon? Just wondering.
Because they're fleeing.
Okay.
They're defenseless. He takes a huge hit. This guy and this guy and this guy will flee into the darkness, screaming and howling with insanity, as the rest of you lean heavily upon your spear. Krisanna goes to retrieve Cheeky from the quivering body of the cult leader. Goram cries out, "My friends!" Oh, that sounds too much like Ingolfr. Let me come up with a different voice. "My friends, thank you for rescuing me. Far too kind. Did that great wolf Ingolfr send you?"
Wait, why don't you think we're rescuing you? We're here to lead the cult. No.
No,
I
you're
looked
not
for
here
the-
for me. Oh,
No.
I misjudged you.
I looked through the cult leader's robes for the key.
Excellent. Give me a spot hidden roll.
I'm too mad to find anything.
You find it. It takes you a little bit of time. You kind of have to rummage around and go through a few things. In the process, you stumble upon a treasure. So I just drew a treasure card, and you find a gold necklace. So he is wearing a necklace that's worth, let's see how much gold this would be worth. It's worth 11 gold. This necklace that you could take as booty from the cult leader. But then you find the key as well. It takes a little bit of time. As we're at the end of the adventure, your threat tracker was at 4, so you did not... you still had ample time before the goblins would have arrived. But you managed to free Goram, and you can flee this place with Goram. Now, the journey back, as long as you didn't leave any... you didn't flee from foes, you don't have to fight them again. It's just assumed that you make the journey back. There's no time accounting or anything. It just happens. You get back to Ingolfr with Goram. He is pleased to see you. He invites you to rest at his table and says, "My friends, now that you are here, tell me of your journey." And we're going to talk about improving on the journey, how the experience point system works. If you are using the solo rules, you just get to choose 5 skills and can try to improve them. If you're not using the solo rules, you're playing with a group, there's a questionnaire. I'm trying to find the page. It has the questions on it. Let me find that real quick here. It's in the organization of the book leaves a little bit to be desired. It's tough to find this page, and I usually have it marked, and I've lost my marker, so you'll give me one moment. Let me see if I can just find it here online. Let's see. Give me 1 second and I'll get it. But if you answer the questions, you get to improve that many skills, and you should be able to answer, I think, all but one of them. So,
what'd you get for number 2?
Here we go. Here is the question. So the first question is, did you participate in the game session? If you answer yes, you get 1 experience point. Did you explore a new location? That's also a yes. You get to another experience point. Did you defeat 1 or more dangerous adversaries? Yes, you did. So that's a 3rd. Did you overcome an obstacle without using force? And I would say yes, you did.
Yes, I sneaked somewhere at the beginning.
You did.
Yes.
You managed to get over the bridge. You managed to get through the plunging path without force. And then did you give into your weakness? And that's an optional rule that really didn't come into play, but that should be 4 experience points. And so the way that you now can try to level up your character, if you open up your character sheet, we can look and see, if you go to your skills, Krisanna, you have a little up arrow on your sleight of hand, and Bastonn has one on awareness. So you automatically get to try to improve those skills. Now, to improve it, you have to fail that roll. And so if you can...
Still too aware.
Yep, so Bastonn rolled a 3, and that was a success, so he does not improve that roll. So, Krisanna, why don't you try, if you click on that little up arrow next to your sleight of hand, we'll see if you can improve your sleight of hand.
Yes.
If you roll a 15 or higher, that will go up to a 15. And then likewise, you each get to choose 4 other skills to try to improve. If you want, you can click those 4 boxes and then make those improvement rolls. So Krisanna did not improve her sleight of hand. So yeah, go ahead and click 4 more boxes. See if you can make those.
Can I click aware? Can I click awareness again in this one?
If you've already had it clicked, technically no.
Okay.
But you could do your spears. You could do. It doesn't have to be a skill that you used. You could, specify it's got to be something that you used. But I think you learn. Hey, a demon. That's fantastic. So Bastonn improved his spot hidden. Bastonn improved his myths and legends. Bastonn improved his hunting and fishing. When your skill gets to 18, that's the highest it can go. And if you get an improvement roll and you would succeed on improving that skill, rather than go to 19, you get to choose a new heroic ability.
Cool.
Did I do it wrong? But
So now click on those arrows, and it should make your roll for you.
Okay.
So your awareness increased. So went from a 12 to a 13. And so that's how you improve as a character. You may notice that your hit points do not go up. It's kind of like Call of Cthulhu. You're stuck with the hit points you start with, but you just get better at the things that you're trying to do. In between adventures, you've got time if you want to do some shopping, some downtime. You could remove all of your conditions, heal up all of your points before you head out on another adventure. I think we've covered everything in the rules as far as how to play Dragonbane. Clara, do you feel like you've got a good grasp on how to play the system?
Yes, I do.
Excellent. And Reese, how about you?
Yep, I do, and this definitely has a lot more. It's a little more intuitive than some other BRP games.
Yeah,
Like
there's not. Yeah,
how,
so
like
like RuneQuest is. Oh my goodness, you need to like know
I
calculus.
I ran my first RuneQuest one shot last Wednesday.
Hmm.
And at the end of it, I'm like, I'm not doing this ever again.
Yeah, you almost have to do it on a tabletop just to do the math because the math is so complicated.
Yeah. And
This was
then
so nice to do in person because it's really easy. It's very intuitive.
yeah. And then yesterday, I started a Pendragon campaign out of my house, and so we all got together and made characters. That only took 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I think when I made a RuneQuest character, it took about 2 hours, maybe two and a half. Traveler is another game that takes a long time to make characters, but it's like a mini game in itself, and it's actually a lot of fun.
Well,
This
I
one to
mean,
make a character, I mean, it's 20 minutes, and you've made a Dragonborn or a Dragonbane character.
with with RuneQuest, you have a good idea what you want your character to be, and you do that. With Traveler, hell, you could die during character
Yeah, you
creation.
end up being like, I wanted to be in the Navy. Nope, nope, you're now a space bum. Like, how did that happen? you
Yes.
know? So,
Yeah, I remember Traveler from the '80s. It's been a long
oh
time since
yeah,
I played, but
awesome.
I just but yeah, I'm looking at this, and then I'm in your Cipher game, so
And have you ever
that'll be
played Cipher
interesting.
System before?
Not even once.
All
So
right, so it's super easy. All you have to do is you need to take a single digit number and multiply it by three, and that's your target number. And then all you're doing in the game is trying to improve your single digit number to take it from a 5 to a 4, so you have to roll, instead of a 15 you need to roll a 12, and that's the only math. And then
uh,
it's super easy to get. Like you'll understand how to play it within 10 minutes. In fact, right there, I've already told you like 90% of how you play the game is just taking a target
yeah, I know
number,
how to play.
multiply
Cool.
it by three. Yeah, you're ready to go, so perfect.
Well, I've I've been playing RuneQuest since Con, and I've been
Awesome.
enjoying that. I got into a couple of Pendragon games. I've been enjoying that. And now I'll be starting. I've got a regular Dragon Bane starting on the 21st, I think.
Perfect.
Um,
Yeah.
I I used to play this game that has an ampersand in it.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Um,
I'm tired of
but
that game,
nope.
you know. Like I
Uh,
played that for 40 years almost, and I've just it's gotten weary. Like it's fun to stretch your legs and try new things.
well, the 2024 rules have got me to the point where I'm like, no, if I'm going to learn a whole new game,
Right.
I'm going to learn a whole new game. So I'm
So,
teaching myself Candela Obscura.
oh sweet.
Um, and like, there's a convention up in Michigan called Yukon coming up in November,
Cool.
and I'm in like a Call of Cthulhu game, a couple of DCCs, a Dragonbane, a Candela Obscura, a Pendragon, and a RuneQuest.
Awesome. Yeah, I when the OGL stuff came out, I started kind of looking like, what else is out there, and I found Shadow Dark and Dragonbane.
Mhm.
I've loved Call of Cthulhu since the first time I played it. We've started doing, Traveler, and Mothership is a ton of fun. And just, it doesn't have to be just the one system. And honestly, you get better at role playing and at playing in general just by playing other genres and other systems,
Yeah.
and finding what you like and what you don't like, and there's something for everyone for sure. Any last pressing questions about Dragonbane? You guys are seriously, you're good to go in your campaign. I think you're prepared enough that you'll do just great. You've had
Is there
experience with hit points, willpower points, abilities, all that stuff.
is there a place like for Call of Cthulhu, the Doll's House, or where you can make a Dragonbane character online?
As far as I know, not yet.
Okay.
They're they're not. There's not a ton of online support for characters right now. Um, there's a Discord server for Dragonbane that's can be super helpful and super useful. Characters are real easy to make. It's super fast. Um, it's something. It's not something that takes hours like RuneQuest or Call of Cthulhu or or whatnot. But there's not that resource yet. They just this game's technically been out since the 80s. It's under a Swedish name, and it kind of went away, and now it's come back as Dragonbane. But they just came out with a campaign called Path of Glory, and I've got the book for it, but I haven't read through it. But it just kind of skimming through, it looks really, really good. There's also
I saw your opening video.
Yeah, for Path of Glory. And Clara, you have the box set, right?
Yes, I do.
So that's got the.
That's an amazing box set.
Yeah, that's like the best box set ever. It comes with like the full rules. Plus you get the solo stuff. Plus you get the pre-gen characters. You get the dice. You get the stand-ins. Plus there's like an 11 adventure campaign that it comes with.
Yeah, and there's a huge map too.
Yeah,
there's
like it's
cards.
amazing.
You got everything.
Nice.
I ended up buying the hardbound rule book just kind of for reference, because the one in the box set, if I start using that a lot, it's going to fall apart. And I'm the sort of person that, like, I've got pristine, like, blue and red D&D boxes from the 1980s that, I treat like it's some sort of, ancient artifact that, I wash my hands before I touch it kind of thing. And so I'm like,
this belongs in a museum.
Exactly. Yeah. If I'm using this book too much, it's going to get dog-eared and fall apart. So I got to get me a working book, and then I'll keep my other book real nice. But yeah, Dragonbane, it's a ton of fun. Like I'm glad you guys had a good time.
I checked Quest Portal. They have a fillable character sheet, but they don't have the instructions on how to make one. So
both the books have them. It's pretty easy. There's a couple of tables that you can use, but it's mostly you pick like your profession, and then that tells you what your main skills are, and then from there you take your stat, and the table tells you kind of what your base skill is, and then ones that you were trained in, you double it. It's not super difficult. It's pretty intuitive.
does that mean that like all like wizards will have basically the same stats?
Similar stats. So if you pull up a wizard, let me see if I can actually show you the book here.
I do. You did send me the pre-gen PDF.
Let me see
but
if I show this to you. Can you see that the journal there for your player character?
Yeah. I see it.
So you should be able to scroll down, and it's going to tell you kind of how to build your character. And I'll be we're just about done here, but I'll leave this on if you want to kind of read through it and see how to do it. You pick your kin, like you were a wolf kin, or there's that the mallard that people either love or hate. Pick your profession. Your age kind of tells you how many skills you get, and then you roll d6s for attributes, and then you've got your derived ratings, which goes to your skills, and that's pretty much it. It's really easy.
Cool.
So I'll leave the server on for a bit so you guys can look through that and just log off when you're done. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'm going to post this video if you guys are both okay with that.
Totally cool.
Perfect. I'll put it on the channel. You're welcome to watch through it again and relive the memories. And I want to thank you guys. I would hope that if I did a good job, you'd give me a 5-star review. If I didn't do a good job, please let me know. Let me know how I could improve. And hopefully I'll see you guys around. I'm running, those Cypher System games. I've got another game by Free League. It's Bastonn, which would be like Call of Cthulhu in Sweden in the 19th century. I've got...
I've heard a lot of
Call of Cthulhu on Tuesday.
Yeah, yep. We've got a Call of Cthulhu game. The Bastonn is super fun. It's like I love these Free League games. Just the quality of the books is just amazing, and I love the dice mechanic for the Year Zero engine.
I've heard a lot of good things about Bastonn, and I definitely want to take a look at it. I'm learning. Like, I'm also learning DCC. I'm also learning Castles and Crusade.
Yeah, you probably want to stick with one for a little bit. Otherwise, they all start to blend together.
Yeah, so, but awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time and for letting us double the number of players so that I didn't die.
Yeah, so the first time I ran this, I ran it with 2 people, and one of them died. It was actually me, so I'm like, I'm going to play a character too, and yeah, he got annihilated. I was a wizard, and they are pretty fragile.
Well,
So,
I,
yeah,
I knew he wouldn't survive one as a solo.
Yeah. Well, if you guys ever want to run the rest of the adventures in Alone in Deepfall Breach, I'm happy to run you through there. There's 4 more that take you through the whole Worldbreaker Shard quest. Just let me know if you're ever up for it. I'll be happy to get that on here. I'm running, right now it's a couple games a week. It may slow down or speed up here and there. Just kind of depends on when I have free time. And it's kind of been a fun endeavor for me to do. And I enjoy just playing around on Foundry and playing the games and just meeting people like you. You guys are fantastic. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and I will post this, and I'll send you the link to it, and then I will see Claire. I'll see you in Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thanks for running.
You're welcome.